Hello, all of you lovely people of the internet. Today I'm going to share with you a bunch of things that you should know in Season 9 of Destiny 2. There's been a lot going on already, and a lot of tips and tricks you probably didn't know. Some may be obvious, others definitely not so much. But many of these things are going to make your life a lot easier. I definitely couldn't have found all these things by myself, so I'll go ahead and link their original sources in the description. First things first, we're starting with the exotic scout rifle, Symmetry. It has a hidden perk on it that allows it to be used against a certain type of champion. Oddly, it doesn't say this anywhere on the gun, but when you activate the gun's alternate fire mode, it can actually stun unstoppable champions with that pulse energy shot. You don't even have to have a full stack of Revolution. You could just simply switch to the alternate fire mode right away and you're ready to stun some champions. Symmetry is already a fantastic weapon, and this makes it even more viable in difficult content. While we're on the topic of Symmetry, its catalyst can be completed without needing the weapon to be equipped. This also isn't telegraphed anywhere, but it's a pretty big difference from last season where you had to have the Ariana's Vow glued to your hip the entire time. This means you can now play Crucible, Gambit, and Strikes, and not need to use Symmetry to actually finish the catalyst. As of the big December patch, if you haven't finished the Ariana's Vow catalyst, that was also changed so that you don't have to have the weapon equipped either to get progress. That was really my only complaint about the grind, so I'm super thankful that was changed. The exotic bow Wishender is currently doing way more damage than it's supposed to, like 3 times as much damage. It's absolutely bonkers in PvE right now, and while I imagine this is some kind of unintended side effect of some tweak to the sandbox, take advantage of it while you can because it feels 100 times better to use now. This only works in PvE, so it's not going to be another Prometheus Lens event, but PvE does include Gambit. Not invaders, just the enemies in Gambit. So if you want to destroy elite enemies, pull this thing from your collections and have some fun with it. Honestly, I think Bungie should just totally leave it like this. In its current state, it's going to be amazing for Shattered Throne runs, and it's probably the best feeling bow in the game right now. In the Season Pass for Season of Dawn, there's a lot of seasonal armor that's given to you while you level up. Most of it you might end up dismantling because of the low stat rolls. However, don't dismantle any of the armor that you get from it from rank 37 or above. Every armor piece available in the Season Pass from rank 37 or above rolls with insanely high stats. I'm talking 64 to 66 total stat points. This is Iron Banner level stuff. And all of it comes in Void, which if you've been keeping up with the meta, at least for the PvE side of the game, Void is the best thing to use hands down because it allows you to use grenade launcher and sniper rifle perks, which are both incredibly helpful when running endgame content because of things like Izanagi's Burden, and grenade launchers are just still kind of insane. So make sure to save this armor once you get there, don't discard it, because it's giving you a free top tier armor set just for leveling up. In the last This Week at Bungie blog post, Bungie linked a page they created that allows you to claim items from last season's Season Pass that you might have missed. When you visit the link and sign in, you're able to actually reclaim the last exotic in the Season Pass, even if you already claimed it last season. Because of the change to exotics, when you claim this, it's going to give you an exotic that you don't already have. If you have all the other RNG exotics in the game and you're looking for any of the new ones from Season 9, click on the character that you want it for and then claim the exotic. You can also see all the items you have left to claim beneath the Season Pass. If you fully leveled to 100 last season, then pretty much the only thing you're going to have left is the Vex components. It's probably a bug that you're allowed to claim this free exotic again, so try and use it ASAP. With Xur being here right now and using this Season Pass exotic, you have the potential to get 2 out of 3 of the new exotics already. During your grind for this season, you might have noticed it's pretty difficult to get the Polarized Fractaline currency used to upgrade the obelisks. So what's the fastest way to get it? Well, if you're looking to be very efficient about it, you have a few different choices. Each obelisk comes with a specific upgrade that increases your chances to get Fractaline from a specific activity. The Mars one is tied to the Crucible, and the Tangled Shore one is tied to Gambit. I did some snooping around in the database and found out that the next 2 obelisks also have similar upgrades. One of the 2 going live next week has an upgrade that gives you currency from Vanguard strikes, and the other has an upgrade that gives you the currency from both the Sundial activity and the Menagerie. So what you should do is save all of your Polarized Fractaline currency for the obelisk that has the activity that you enjoy most. If you're a PvP player, invest everything you have into the Mars obelisk. If you're a PvE player, wait for the EDZ and Nessus ones. The ones that reward you for strikes will probably be the most efficient ones, because if you remember back in Season 7, you could run the Lake of Shadows strike for the Chalice of Opulence runes, and it only took about 3 to 4 minutes per clear. The upgrade for strikes does not specify the strike playlist either. It just says from strikes, so this method is bound to work again. So what you should do is stockpile that currency for the activity that you enjoy grinding, or maybe just the one you hate the least, and then upgrade that obelisk as much as you can. The only other way to really rake in the Polarized Fractaline is by doing all of the bounties from each obelisk on all 3 characters per week. Which leads us to the next tip, and this has to do with the weekly obelisk bounty where you have to collect materials on Mars and the EDZ. I don't actually know if this bounty is going to change destinations of where you have to acquire the material next week, but if you've been pushing off this one because it takes so long, then here's a route you can use to make things a lot easier. Spawn in at the southernmost landing zone in Mars, and you want to run south to Olympus Descent as if you were running the Strange Terrain strike. There's always going to be Seraphite here to collect, and if you run all the way to the end, like out past the Fallen Warsat, you can just fast travel back to the original Glacial Drift and run the route again. Every run should get you somewhere between 3 to 5 Seraphite, which is a lot more reliable than any other path I could find. This was the most annoying bounty to complete by far, so this is sure to make the grind much more bearable. With Season 9, 2 new exotic catalysts were unlocked, one for Black Talon and one for Lord of Wolves, which can be found from strikes and in Crucible matches. Both of these catalysts simply require you to get kills with the weapon, which you could do pretty much anywhere. If you really want to be efficient, once you've gotten the Lord of Wolves catalyst, equip it while you're grinding Gambit for the Python ritual weapon. You need to get shotgun kills anyway, and, well, Lord of Wolves is a shotgun, so what better way to be efficient? Sticking with the subject of ritual weapons, for the Vanguard sidearm Buzzard, a little tip some of you veterans might know is that if you stand on top of an elevated surface, whether it be a box or a railing or whatever, kills while elevated like that count as airborne kills. You don't actually have to jump up in the air and try and shoot things. However, if you're a Dawn Blade, it's pretty easy to do already. For the Crucible weapon Komodo, here's what I used for each character to speed up my grind. Step 1 is to equip Arbalist, if that wasn't clear already. Step 2, for Titans, run Middle Tree Striker, aka Thunder Crash. The great thing about this subclass is it has the perk Inertia Override. So when you kill someone with Arbalist, or you don't even have to kill them actually, when you find ammo laying on the ground, slide into it. Sliding into ammo gives you a damage buff, which allows you to one-shot body shot any Guardian you run into. This was my favorite way to absolutely clean up with Arbalist. For Warlocks, you can run either Well of Radiance or what I like to do, which was Bottom Tree Stormcaller. Well of Radiance does give you a nice damage boost, but it's only in your super. So you're going to mostly end up taking advantage of Empowering Rift anyway, which also lets you one-shot body shot enemies with Arbalist. The reason I suggested running Bottom Tree Stormcaller is because the perk Electrostatic Surge makes your Rift last longer, and it makes it recharge faster when nearby allies. You could also run Chromatic Fire, which I chose to do, which adds some bonus area of effect damage that might get you some double kills.
2-for-1.
For Hunters, you'll be pretty well off running Middle Tree Night Stalker so that every precision kill with Arbalist turns you invisible. If you have the artifact mod unlocked, you could also add Void Battery to this because you're on a Void subclass already. Two big changes that were not really talked about by Bungie at all were the stat system rework for class abilities and the ammo finder rework. If you haven't tinkered around with mods or your stats yet, you may not have seen these changes. For Hunters, the higher your mobility, the faster your dodge comes back. For Titans, the higher your resilience, the faster your barricade comes back. And for Warlocks, the higher your recovery, the faster your rift comes back. This is a huge change that might make you reconsider what stats you want to go for on each class. If not, it's still worth keeping in mind for potential builds down the road. And we also got ammo finder changes. This is something I didn't even notice immediately, but there are now 3 generic ammo finders on your helmet and 3 generic ammo scavengers on your boots. Instead of using weapon-specific ammo finders like for grenade launchers or snipers, you can opt to add one of these more expensive mods to cover all weapon types. For the helmet, you have primary, special, and heavy ammo finders. For your boots, you have primary, special, and heavy ammo scavenger. For some reason, it's called power ammo scavenger on the boots, but heavy ammo on the helmet. I don't know, even Bungie can't make up their mind. These more generic mods have the same effect as if you were to use these specific ones. The difference is they cover every weapon type instead of just one. Let's shift focus real quick to the sundial activity. If you're running this, try using Risk Runner. A lot of the standard Cabal guys shoot arc damage, which is going to proc Risk Runner's perk, or you could just jump into the Vex Milk and activate it yourself. It allows you to clear a massive amount of enemies in the sundial, and you can take advantage of it in whatever section of the activity you're in. Also, if you're going for the Flawless Sundial Triumph, which by the way only requires you to not die, not forcing your entire team to go flawless, I found Risk Runner really helps keep you alive. Next time you're in the activity, try out Risk Runner and let me know how it goes. And last but not least, I wanted to go over some of the most efficient bounties for earning XP for leveling up the Season Pass, thanks to Reddit user AlwaysOnTimeHunter for this list. Eris Morn's Lunar Spelunker bounty gives 12,000 XP, her daily bounties give 6,000 XP each, and the repeatable bounties give 4,000 XP each. Planetary bounties like the ones from the EDZ, Nessus, Io, etc. award you with 6,000 XP each. The weekly sundial bounties from the Obelisk give 12,000 XP each, and the weapon frames give you 4,000 XP per frame. Zavala's weekly bounties gives you 12,000 XP each, while his dailies give you 6,000 XP, and his repeatables give you 4,000. Banshee's weekly bounties gives 12,000 XP each, and his weapon-specific ones give 6,000, while his repeatables give 4,000. 801's daily bounties reward 6,000 XP, and the weeklies also reward you with 6,000 XP. Those are the bounties you want to focus on if you don't have a lot of time or just want to be really efficient with leveling up. So those are all the tips, tricks, glitches, and other advice I have for you. It's still extremely early in the season, so there's going to no doubt be more stuff I could add to this list later on. If you have anything you'd like to share to make someone's life a bit easier, please go ahead and leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.